Good evening. Welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. This is my first podcast in 2023. Um, there's a lot going on. I'll tell you the truth. So much has been going on this one particular um, incident with the uh, George Santos. And I just could not believe what I was seeing and what I was hearing. And I was thinking about it so much, to be perfectly honest. It actually kept me awake at night. And that is the fact that here's a man that was elected on a reputation that was a lie. And it was proven to be a lie. Everything. No college grad, his being Jewish, him being uh, working for top firms on Wall Street. I mean, and so much more. And these things were proven to be a lie. And from what I'm hearing, I think he was supposed to be sworn into office on January 2nd, I believe. But to me, he should have been taking the handcuffs off, going to jail. So this is a politician that was elected on lies. But at the end of the day, this type of person is accepted, and his behavior is accepted to the point that he is allowed to be sworn into office. I just can't understand it. This is a politician supposed to be representing the American people, supposed to stand for something, and yet only thing he stands for is a con man. And he's sworn in by the Republicans, his party. I just the whole GOP, that whole attitude, and I think I'm gonna try and let this be the last time I talk about this in 2020. But it has gotten beyond, way beyond the Republican Party. This reflects on the American people. They vote these people in office and they support them to the point that they're continuing to be in office even though they are against this government. They supported an insurrection and attempted coup on our democracy. And these people are still in office. You know, this has to be, uh, from what I'm seeing, based on my understanding, it's the downfall, the beginning of the downfall of this country. Definitely of the justice system, because there is no justice when it comes to the rich. You know, I'm watching the Republicans vote on Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. And so far, he's failed the vote 10 times. And they're talking about what's the amount of time that's being taken up, that these Republicans should be doing more for the American people. But when I look at these people that's voting, they all sit back laughing just like it's a joke. Because number one, they're all rich. They don't want for anything. They have the best job in the world, which is doing nothing and making hundreds of thousands of dollars with millions and millions upon millions of dollars in benefits. So the American people, we're the ones that getting screwed on this deal and have been all the time, but yet we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves while the rich politicians are running away with the wealth of this country. They don't care about people. They do not care about the American people. And it's proven each and every day if people would only just use some common sense, open your eyes and think. I heard something this morning on the news, and also, to me, the news plays a big part in what's going on in America. They are not. They are without. They are not without blame. Part of the blame for what's going on in the world, this system, in this country. But getting back to what I heard on the news today, the FDA found out that there's two types of metals in baby food. One is lead, and I'm not sure. I forget exactly what the other one was. But it's these two types of metals in baby food should not be in it. It is harmful to babies. The FDA has known about this for quite some time. And it says now that will take at least a year or more for the FDA to get to a point, I think, where they take the metal out of this baby food. How was that allowed? If they cared, if anybody cared about children, babies, how could that be allowed to have metal in baby food? Let's just use some common sense today. Today is a common sense podcast because it's gone. I don't know what people are thinking about, but they're not thinking. They're too busy responding to negativity that they don't even have time to think about anything. How money is being made, millions and trillions of dollars being made on the backs of the poor, low income, and the middle class. And we don't have sense enough to at least try and do anything about it to help yourself, to ease these burdens on yourselves. They talk about inflation and how tight things are going to get in the future. Only for the poor, only for the middle class, only for the low income. The wealthy feels no inflation. And the way you live, I mean, I realize that America's about making money. And it is, and that's okay. And I talk about this all the time. But at the same time, you don't have to take advantage of people. You don't have to take all the money. Let people live just because you have a monopoly on something. You have the ability to make decisions that can affect the lives of millions upon millions of people. There's no reason to take that power that you have and just use it to abuse people and have people suffering. And I think people can do more themselves if they start using some common sense. Stop wasting so much. Start working together. Start taking responsibility for what you do and for what your family does, your children does. And your family needs to start working together. I mean, we have nowhere else to go but this planet Earth. Start using some common sense now. Nowhere else to go. We talk about space exploration and all this going. We're not going. Only a select few with money would go into outer space, and using some common sense, I wouldn't even want to go out there anyway. For what? There's nothing out there but stars, black holes, space. So I mean, what's out there? The only thing you can do is you can go out there and you can create uh, a world out there, an environment out there for you to exist in outer space. But this is our home, Earth. The environment in outer space and the environment here on Earth are different. Are different. So for whatever reason you want to go out there is beyond me. If that was the place for us to be, guess what? We would have been born in outer space, floating around. That's not the life we are. Our life and this planet are one. Use some common sense. We need to focus and clean up this planet. And if you use some common sense, it could be too late. Could be too late because there is a point of no return, you see. And we could have reached that point based on how uh, nature is pushing back. Nature is merely pushing back what we have pushed into it. Simple. There's nothing complicated about this at all. It becomes complicated when you don't think about it, when you have taken yourself out of the equation, so to speak. This is not a joke. You look at what's happening in the weather in California. You look at yesterday, this is January 5th, 61, 65 degrees. How is this affecting our fruits, vegetables? You understand? We need to do more, people, and it may be too late. But being that what it is, regardless of what time it is, we're going to have to live, take care of our own, and provide for our own. And I don't mean just self, what I'm saying, I mean people as a whole. We've got to start doing something to start stockpiling. We got to start owning some warehouses that we can start warehousing some of this food and stuff. We need to get some land. We need to pay attention and take all our food out of the hands of a few corporations that control all the food distribution and everything, all the farming. We got to eat. You saw what happened when Elon Musk came in. He bought Twitter. He came in. He took over Twitter. Fired everybody. Told you, look, if you want to work, if you don't want to work, go. I'll give you some severance pay and get out. He could do that because he was the owner of it. You understand? But people advertising on it, and the only reason they advertise on it because people are on it. People are on these platforms for advertisement. That's why. That's why it costs so much. That's why it's so valuable. People pay money to advertise to get their products out. We just have to start thinking about things, start using some common sense, and realize we have to live in this world. And nobody's going to give you anything. Money might be allocated to help the poor. They don't get it. You don't even know how much they get. One thing is for sure, it's not enough to get them out of that situation that they're in because the poor stays poor and they stay in that environment, it only gets worse. And that's no place you want to be. Now, when everybody else, every nationality of people can come to this country, they can make money. They can own real estate. They can own businesses. But we, as African Americans, and I realize we done been through some hard times and continue to go through hard times. We've never had a fair hand in the game, but there's enough people that know the game. They can do more to help our people and to educate our people and to make them an important part in the economic system here in this country, which is not being done. I look at all these major construction that's going on. I look at these low income houses that's being developed and built in the in the black communities that's located in valuable parts of the city. We have to do more to it's more than just a developer coming in and developing these parts of the city. Okay. Because first of all, when they do that, the city pays developers to come in and build these low income houses for the low income and also the middle class one and two. Build these homes for them, apartments. And the construction of these properties, from what I've been told, they only build to last maybe 15, 20 years or more. Because at the end of that time, by that time, based on how the uh, structure of the city is being done and how things are being developed and the way that the city is being developed, that property where these low income people have been living and have been paying the developer who owns the property. See, so he's getting paid from there. And then and when that property after 10 or 20 years and that land becomes so valuable, now it's time for those people to go. So now the developer can sell that property to another developer and make even more money. But guess what? The low income people and the middle class one and two, they're out in the street again because they don't own anything. And this has got to stop. We just kicked out uh, uh, people living in townhouses in University City. It was a developer that owned the property. I think some of those people lived there for maybe 20, 30 years. So the owner sold the property to a developer. So now he's gonna come in and develop that whole uh, plot of land there, where those houses are that's eventually going to be torn down. So you wind up with nothing. This has got to stop. But I'm thinking based on the way things are now and how things are unfolding, especially when you have politicians trying to uh, stage a coup against our government, insurrection in our capital, knowingly denounce the fair election of our president, and continuing to do so. That tells me these people have to know something because these politicians, these Republicans are not, they're not that stupid. So there's a bigger plan. It has to be. It has to be for people to out and out come out and talk the way they're talking, do the things that they're doing. It has to be. Think about it. Use some common sense. This is what's letting me know or feel like uh, there's something huge over the horizon. It's getting ready to befall on the people here in this country and maybe around the world. Doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, the only ones that's going to survive in this physical world is the rich. They might go out in outer space for a while because let's not forget now, this planet, there was life on this planet before us. So if history can tell us anything, it can tell us that the end can come and is coming because it was life here before. And we're heading down that same path, people. Same path. And to get to a point where there's nothing can be done about it. And people don't even seem to care. They really don't. Human life today seems to amount to almost nothing. People don't care. Especially when I heard that about the baby food. People talking about don't want to work, jobs. Only jobs that's available that they're talking about is these low end jobs, a lot of uh, business people in restaurants. They said after the coronavirus, they didn't want to come back to work because a lot of these business owners was underpaid. These people was underpaid. Whereas getting that stimulus money at home, and they saw what they was getting more stimulus money than what they was working on the job. Most of them, from what I was hearing, so they had a taste of that. And once in one instances that I think one instances that I think that the stimulus money, I think it saved me personally. I think it saved the economy because I don't think these businesses were doing that great anyway. And all the money that the stimulus did, it went right back into the economy to stimulate this economy, and that's what it did. The same, a lot of times, a lot of these businesses closed down. From what I heard, they got more money from the stimulus than what they was making. And people complain about the stimulus. The majority of complaining about I think $1,000 or something that people was getting. But the majority of that stimulus money went to the rich. It went to the rich and it went to business people. And the people, the little people that it did go to, they spent that money, so that still went back to the rich. So I don't know what these people be complaining about. It's all a bunch of BS because guess what? At the end of the day, the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poor. And it's time for people to wake up and realize that the money that the rich is getting is coming from the poor. But at the end of the day, using common sense, it all belongs to the rich anyway. It's their system. But you don't have to struggle if you use some common sense, use your money, what little you have because you don't have any because you're constantly spending it all the time. You know, when they come out with stocks, they come out with stocks like when Tesla came out with the battery powered cars. Then they come out with lithium. These things that you invest in. You need lithium for the battery, so you would invest in lithium. You invest in Tesla. You invest in things that's important that pertains to the future and to the stability, the sustainability to life and this planet. Things that you would invest in. But if you don't have any money, you can't invest. So that's why as time goes on, you don't rise above the situations you're in. And the money that you're getting from the government to help you, the people that's supposed to be allocating or giving the money to you to help you, they're taking the money for themselves. Some of it. It's been proven. And then they all and on the flip side, then they're gonna talk about you about the bad situation that you're in. They talk about the drugs. Well, where did the drugs come from in the neighborhood? Hmm? Drugs. You put drugs in the neighborhood. You have no role models in the neighborhood. If you're in the ghetto, if your parents are ghetto, your children will be a ghetto. You know, so we have got to start using common sense about this thing, and we have got to come together. We have got to start trusting one another. And see, that's another thing has been destroyed amongst our people. That trust. If you don't have trust, then how can you work together? And if you can't work together, then how can you have anything? Then the educational system. You know, we don't have a decent educational system. Modern schools, like everybody else, it doesn't have to be have a certain name on it. All you have to have is teachers and instructors that really care and take that money and develop that same quality school in our neighborhoods. Get some money, get money in grants that we can own, that we, the people in the community, can own, buy, and build. We can do that. We can do that. We can hire contractors to come in and build what we want built in our neighborhoods. We can do that, that we own. Instead of when we get allocations and get this grant money, instead of giving it to somebody to build a basketball court or something, let's take that money and get some contractors to build some condominiums for the people to live there, that the people can own. This whole city is in strangers' hands that we don't even know who they are. All over the city. Everything's going up. Buildings, 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 price. But see, the pricing is messing up. Their pricing on real estate is backfiring on people because they're charging so much money, number one, that people can't afford it. And then number two, the people that can't afford it, the only thing they can do is pay their rent, their bills, and eat. That's it. So that's hurting the economy. You see, but the rich is taking it all. They want it all. They want it all. And they're getting it all. But things have got to change. Got to change. I uh I just started a nonprofit, and it's interior painting and design, among other things. I do counseling um, and I do consulting. And the nonprofit interior painting and designing. So I go into people's homes and I beautify their homes, paint them, make the house look nice. I fix up what has to be fixed up, and it's at no cost. They make a donation of what they can afford. If they can't afford it, that's okay. It's not about that. It's about creating an environment that make people feel good about themselves. Let them know, hey, this is the way with the house, that my living conditions can be nice, it can be refined, and it doesn't take a lot of money to do that. And that's amazing how they can develop someone's self-esteem. And this is what uh, the nonprofit, nonprofit does. And I'm getting a lot of response. I just finished doing a lady's working on a lady's house, and it's rewarding. And on top of that, people are realizing, they're feeling that nonprofit means nonprofit. And not only that, it's not just about, I mean, anything can help someone. I'm not talking down on anybody's, whatever they do, nonprofit, it's a nonprofit. You're helping people regardless if there's only one person, you're helping someone, and God bless you. And this is to say, this is what I'm doing. And this is going to stretch out into doing a lot of things, and bring people in where we can work together and build something that can last. It can be a lasting impact, have a lasting impact on low income and middle class one and two, because we're going to have to look out for ourselves as a people, as a united people, because when it rains, it just doesn't rain on a certain area or certain people. If you're out there, you're going to get wet. And this is what this is about, people. And this is a lot serious than what people think it is. That's why a lot of people, I hear them say, well, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in this. But when they have an accident and come close to death, their whole life changes. Everything changes. They can't get close enough to God. But I'm telling you, sometimes you don't wake up from these tragic accidents. You don't get a chance. You don't get a chance to go back and be thankful and regroup. That's why it's important to live your life each and every day to the fullest. Because the Creator said, when I come like a thief in the night. You know not the day, minute, nor the hour. And that's how we live. That's how the life and this physical body can be snapped out any minute, any second. But you want to be right inside with the right frame of mind. You want to have the right captain in charge when that happens. And that's what this life is about, making the right choices. It's the thing I'm hearing too about more and more today. And these are things that I've been talking about and studying for years. And I'm not saying I started it, but I've been thinking about this and been studying this for years. And that's like metaphysics and meditation, and people talking about mind over matter. I'm hearing doctors talk about people now. You don't need medicine. You just need to think and develop from the inside. I mean, these are things that uh, always been there, but they've been kept under the rug, so to speak. And they've been kept under the rug because those things does not make money. You see, spirituality does not make money. Spirituality is not about money. Meditation is not about money. Start fasting and clearing your brain and watching things that you put into your body, put into your mind. Hey, that keeps a lot of money on the outside. You see, those things are not profitable. That's why they have not been exploited. But now I'm hearing more and more about people defining uh, these things and thinking about uh, what's going on inside, thinking about the mind now. And it's becoming more and more outward now, so to speak. Because I heard yesterday, what was it yesterday? A couple of days ago, that as you get older, automatic you're gonna have like high blood pressure. Everything you eat they has sugar in it because sugar is addictive. They want you to buy it, so they put sugar in it to make junkies out of your taste buds. So you want to eat everything. So I heard just a couple of days ago that all the high blood pressure medication that they've been giving people, mostly older people, causes cancer. I said, now you tell us after all these years now, people been taking uh, uh, blood pressure medication. Now all of a sudden it causes cancer. But see, when it comes to medicine and putting things in your body, it takes a generation to really find out the outcome of that medication. Yes, and medication affects everybody differently. It affects people differently. Guy, I was talking. Who was I talking? I was talking to somebody the other day, and a black guy, friend of mine, and he was telling me that he stays in the house all the time. He has like arthritis or something. He can't go out. So he stays in the house all the time. He might go out and just get a little walk once in a while, but 95% of his time is spent in the house. When he goes to the doctor said, so, man, you need some sun. So you need to get yourself some vitamin D pills. You need some sun. And when he said that, it struck a note with me because I've always said black people should be out in the sun, and we don't. We stay out of the sun, but yet we need to be in the sun because the sun is a vital nutrient that we need. The reason why our skin is dark and black because we absorb the radiation from the sun. And that's because of where we come from. It's called adaptation. And adaptation is protecting the body so the body can protect the life consciousness within. See, our values are put in the wrong place. We got values on how you how you look, values on your hair. Uh, these things are not important. These things are just made up for appearance wise. But tell me this: when you land up in the hospital and you sick, do you care what your hair look like? Uh-uh. Mm-mm. You understand? You care about your health. And that's what your focus needs to be on. Because this outside doesn't mean a thing. But there are advantages There are advantages to being of color. You ever heard those saying, the blacker the bird, the sweeter the juice? Hey, blacker the berries. But that's true. You can't get caught up in this. You have got to be focused about life and worry about this body. Worry about the body that consumes or protects the life within. And when you do that, then you'll begin, your whole attitude's going to change. You don't care. What do you care about anything? As long as you're healthy, you understand? Your mind, you know the truth. You're working on developing yourself inside. Hey, that's what's important, not this other BS. It's all about money. It's all about money. And you're losing your life. You're really losing your life. Because life is not about money. Don't let nobody tell you it is. We need it to survive. We need it to survive, to buy the necessary things. But on your deathbed, that ain't what you calling for. When you sick, that's not what you calling for. But you don't have to get sick. You don't have to get sick. You spend your whole life preparing to get sick, knowing at the same time you creating a path to that sickness that you're preparing, that you've been saving up, you've been preparing for. You need to start thinking using some common sense, people. I've been telling myself for the last 40 years, 50 years, I don't get sick. And guess what? I don't get sick. Don't get sick. Never been sick. Well, I know and tell what I can have wrong with me, but I don't get sick. I'm fine. I'm feeling good. So what is there? My body has it in check. My body could keep it in check for the next 50 years. Why not? What's to stop it from keeping it in check? Nothing. You have things your body can. Everybody's just like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what happened. How these stores work. I This store had oil change. Oil change 1999, and we're going to give you a check over this and this and this and this. Knowing every time, every car that comes through there has something wrong with it. One lady, I'm in there, right? This one lady gets her oil change and comes back, and she wound up spending damn near $500. The guy checked it, told her, "Well, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that." The woman almost spent $500. She only went there for an oil change. That's the whole purpose of these checkups. Same thing, you go to the doctor for a checkup. His business, he makes his money off of you. Don't have no good insurance policy. You may never leave. But anyway, the point that I'm making is, people, everybody might have something wrong with us. But if your body has it in check, what's the difference? What's wrong? Nobody say how long your body can have it in check, just like no one can tell you how long your heart can beat. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing about it, if you're smoking cigarettes on top of cigarettes and you're doing drugs and you're doing this, you're eating all this sugar, they can look at you and tell you based on how something is, approximate time you're going to get out of it, or when you might drop dead. You understand? But this body, nobody can tell you anything about this body but you and God. That's a fact. Unless it's something right out there, your blood, your veins, and you're literally bleeding to death. But you got to use that mind controls everything. Your mind and your thought process. Strong will. These are things you need to think about and work on inside. See the difference between difference between physical and metaphysical. Physical is on the outside. Metaphysics is in the inside. I'm gonna give you an example of uh, metaphysical teaching, and the teachings in the Bible, so to speak. For example, Jesus had 12 disciples: uh, John, Peter, Thomas, Matthew, Bartholomew, uh, John, just to name a few. Okay, but now metaphysical, the 12 disciples were nerve centers in the body. John, a nerve center in the back of the heart. James, son of Zebedee, is a nerve center located in the pit of the stomach. And James and John were noted as being brothers of thunder. So, and on the outside, but in the inside, have you ever heard sometime when people get an upset stomach or indigestion, it seems to affect their heart? Sometimes people got upset stomach, indigestion, they think they might have a heart attack because those two nerve centers work closely together. You see, Bartholomew, it's a nerve center located between the eyes. Imagination, these are nerve centers that you focus on, that you develop within. You see, it's a lot that we don't know, and this is why it's so important to learn. You don't learn, live to die. You live to live. And if people focused on living and really realize what they're capable of, their potential, and how important it is to use this life that we have, we will spend less time spending and wasting time and more time on uh, getting closer to God and understanding this body that He has given us and this mind and the capabilities. Because when you think about it, everything comes from within the mind. It is first thought of, then it is made. Then it comes out of a need. Just think about it. Use common sense. Think about these things. Sometime ride down the street or walking down the street and look up at the sky and you know what? I'm out in this universal planet. You talk about space people. We are space people here on Earth. And I don't care what they develop in outer space. You cannot duplicate this planet. You can't. A body that's developed in weightlessness, okay, in outer space, and a body developed here on Earth is totally different. Because number one, in weightlessness, you have a body with no muscles. You don't need muscles. In weightlessness, you can have a totally different body because your body is going to be long and skinny and lengthy with long fingers because things are floating and you're always reaching for something. So over time, your body is going to develop to that. So you're going to be lanky, big head, long fingers, long skinny arms, skinny body. That's it. It's common sense. Common sense. Yeah. So there's no escape for anything. It's prolonging. What's the difference? Doesn't matter. I often look at people sometime and I say, everybody, I think a lot. And I say, everybody, they want to be healthy. Okay. be healthy, which is good. You want to do what's necessary to live a long time. It's good. You get 95 years old, you want to live. Even though you can't do anything, you want to live. That's good. But if you don't know anything, just thinking now, I'm just putting this out. You can't do anything. And you have no goal to do anything. You're just living. Then why are you here? For anybody. You know, that's why to me everything is a purpose for everything. You have to have a purpose, and you're not too old. If a purpose gives you a reason to live, give you a purpose to live, and that's why it's not good. It's not good when children put their parents in a home. I can understand it if they're in a situation where you have no other choice on the planet but to do it. Guess what? That kills them. They didn't put you in a home. Your parents didn't put you in a home. Your parents raised you. Your parents put diapers on you. They took care of you. They had time for you. But as soon as your parents get old, get of an age, you throw them in a home somewhere because you don't have time. Your parents. I went to a meeting last night, and the meeting was parents, women, 95% women that have lost their children to gun violence in the city. And it must have been about at least maybe 25, maybe 25, 30 women that lost their children to gun violence. They got one of that has to be one of the most hurting things in the world to lose a child. And and that's something you never get over. But through God, I was amazed, not shocked, but I was amazed. It was amazing to see, you know, how many of those mothers was able to just relax and just be themselves and talk about it, but yet somewhat found a place to embrace or put that sadness that would allow them to come out and be amongst other people and talk. It was just something to be a part of and see. But we have so much to be thankful for, especially if we never have to go through anything. And we have got to change and do better because we can do better while we have a chance to do better. We don't know if that's going to be a 2024 now. We don't know if that's going to be another month from now. We don't know. And that's how bad things are. And the neighborhood friend said, my girlfriend and I, the friend said, let me walk y'all to your car, he said, because it can be dangerous out here. But and it can be, but not just there. It can be dangerous anywhere. Anywhere there are people, there can be danger. That's how bad things have gotten. So, um, this is 2023. Glad to be back. This is going to be a new year. It is a new year, but a better year. I just want to do more. I want to do more to get my nonprofit established, up and running, and get donations in. Anybody want to donate, they can go to new NEW by BY Lou LOU Incorporated Inc.com. You can donate. And my information is there. Anybody that needs some work, you may have to be on a waiting list, but eventually, as I grow and get larger, I'll be able to service a lot more people. Because this is my goal, is to service the low income, middle class, 1 and 2. Um, thank you for listening, and I'm gonna try and make this at least 3 times a week. And have a wonderful evening. Thank you.